The future of oil and gas development in our state is on the line this November. Proposition 112 is a statewide ballot measure to keep new drill rigs farther away from homes and schools.
And this is an issue we have followed very closely for months now. And tonight, Denver 7's Jennifer Kopaleski is back on the oil beat and going 360 to give you multiple perspectives on Prop 112 so you have the information you need before you vote.
Proposition 112 will devastate Colorado's economy.
People don't know that it's coming.
It's ear-splitting.
If it passes, we would lose thousands of jobs.
The nonstop political ads.
The smell from the fumes.
Sponsored Facebook content. Heck, even posts by your friends on Facebook.
And it doesn't improve safety.
Please join us in defeating 112.
I could not believe that there's 24,000 active wells in Weld County.
The noise around Proposition 112 is at full volume. A statewide ballot measure that will change the way oil companies do business. But what's true? And what's overhyped? Using the fewest words possible, Colorado's economy, say some, versus health and safety, say others. That's what's at stake.
Even if it's not in your neighborhood, this is the health of our state, and this is the future of our state.
This is not about health and safety. This is about banning the oil and gas industry.
Let's break this down for you. A yes vote on Prop 112 means you want to increase the setback for new wells to 2,500 feet from homes, schools, hospital buildings, and also, quote, vulnerable areas. Here we're talking playgrounds, lakes, and other drinking water sources. A no vote keeps these regulations the same, which means that new wells have to be 500 feet from homes and 1,000 feet from schools. Prop 112 increases the setback to 5 times what it is now, 2,500 feet from backyards and schools. So what sparked this ballot box battle? This whole thing was born through a grassroots effort.
I feel like this town is under siege.
People living in Erie, Broomfield, Boulder, frustrated with the increased drilling, the current regulations, and lack of say in how close is too close.
We are protecting homes, schools, playgrounds, and water sources.
Ian Lee Foster is with Colorado Rising, the group behind 112. They see the increased setbacks as common sense buffer zones between fracking and communities.
Being this close to a site, you're breathing in volatile organic compounds like benzene, which is known to be cancer-causing.
We have the toughest rules in the country that govern oil and gas regulations, but we also live in Colorado. We live in these communities.
Supporters also point to mega well pads like this one up in Greeley. It's legally allowed to sit right next to Belo Romero Elementary. But many ask, should it be?
We decided to take the power into our own hands.
There is no credible science or definitive evidence that says the setback in Colorado needs to be any larger than what it already is.
Opponents believe this is not about health and safety. From their perspective, Prop 112 is a job killer that would result in a ban on oil and gas in our state and have devastating impacts on Colorado's economy.
Put up to 147,000 people out of work over the next 11 years, 43,000 people out of work next year. And 77% of those jobs are not even in our industry.
Dan Haley runs the Colorado Oil and Gas Association and represents the industry. Those numbers he cites are from an independent study done by the Common Sense Policy Roundtable. The study also claims Colorado will lose a whopping $230 million in state and local tax revenue.
Now being used to fund schools, parks, libraries, rec centers, things that make our communities and our state special.
Colorado Rising believes the impact would be far less. They stress more than 50,000 existing oil and gas sites can still operate under the measure, meaning jobs would still be needed to run those sites. Supporters point to this Department of Energy study, showing there are only 23,000 oil and gas jobs.
Proposition 112 compels me to speak out.
Meanwhile, the industry is spending big money to go to battle against the measure, which is why we're seeing all those ads on TV.
Real numbers, real consequences. Vote no on 112.
A political group called Protect Colorado has already raised more than $30 million. Anadarko, Noble Energy, and Extraction Oil and Gas are among the top contributors. Prop 112 supporters don't have near that much. They've raised just over $700,000 to get their message out.
We've been outspent by the industry 30-1 in a lot of cases. You see that in Broomfield, Erie, and we still win at the ballot box.
A ballot box battle with a lot at stake that could mark a turning point in the fight over drilling along the Front Range. Does the oil and gas industry take some responsibility for how we got here?
I think for too long our industry did not do a good job of talking with Coloradans about what we were doing, why we were doing it, how we were doing it in a manner that's safe and responsible and clean. And if, when this initiative fails, we need to double up those efforts.
Jennifer Kowaleski, Denver 7.